This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why, like you, he partners with Granger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Looking for these better days.
It is Tuesday, November 4th. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's what you need to know to make today a better day. The Arizona Cardinals defeated the Dallas Cowboys on Monday Night Football last night, 27-17, winning outright as a 3.5-point dog. The game does go under the posted total. Mackenzie Rivers joins me here on this episode of Better Day, presented by FanDuel. Mac, looking at our same-game parlay from last night, we cashed the Jacoby Brissett over in yardage. He was 21 of 31 for 261 yards and 2 touchdowns. We cashed the Marvin Harrison anytime touchdown. We did not cash the Marvin Harrison to go under his yardage. He had 7 catches for 96 yards. More on that in just a moment. And the game did go under the posted total. So yesterday, full disclosure, if I knew when we recorded the pod of Marvin Harrison Sr.'s comments, I would not have given out a Marvin Harrison Jr. under. Once I read those comments, I bet Marvin Harrison Jr. to go over, and I bet his anytime touchdown. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, Marvin Harrison Sr. came out yesterday and was very critical of the Arizona Cardinals offense, going as far to say that he doesn't know what he's watching. He said it's very hard. He goes, quote, "It's very hard for me to watch the Cardinals offense." That was like his exact quote. And then he goes on to say, just watching it, like being like a former wide receiver, looking at it with, like a former player's eye. He's like, quote, "The style of offense that I'm accustomed to, that I'm used to watching as a professional eye, as a wide receiver, I just can't relate to watching that offense. That style of offense, basically, I can't relate to what's going on there." I just think that's just peacefully put, without pointing fingers or anything. It's just me. I'm giving you the professional eye. I can't relate to it. It don't add up to me. I can't deal with it, end quote. So, as soon as I read those quotes, Mac, I said, they're going to force feed Marvin Harrison Jr. tonight. They're going to be pass. They're going to get him the football, and he's going to score a touchdown. And he scored the first touchdown of the game. They went to him early and often. As I mentioned, 7 catches, 96 yards, and a touchdown.
And it was one of the most traditional wide receiver touchdowns. That's almost the most impressive as well, where it's just one-on-one with the defender, and he literally crossed him over so bad that he fell to the ground. And he's standing in the end zone without anybody on him saying, "Hey, might as well toss it to me." I honestly would have, if I would have heard those comments, I might have doubled down and tried to argue the under harder.
Oh, really?
It's interesting. I feel like if it was Mike Tomlin's team that was put on blast like that, but Drew Petzing, the offensive coordinator for the Cardinals, had never called plays before. He had this current gig. Jonathan Gannon, same thing, the head coach, new to the NFL as a head coach. So I think Marvin Harrison Sr., emphasis on senior status, did pull some sway here.
Yeah, to me it was like, oh, they're definitely going to feed this kid tonight. Like, they're definitely going to feed this kid tonight. And they did. Now, there was a lot of people that were questioning the play calling in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter. It seemed like they were just begging Dallas to come back in this game.
And it's happened to them before. It happened against the Saints, against the Panthers.
Yes.
Titans, you might remember they had a little bit of a lead towards the end of the game.
I don't want to talk about that one. That's too hard to talk about. But yeah, like it just felt like they were begging the Cowboys to come back in this game, but ultimately they held on as Dak. There was a fumble which killed a Cowboys drive, and then Dak throws the interception, and the game was over. So they hold on 27-17. Cowboys fall to 3-5-1. Cardinals improved to 3-5, so they snapped their losing skid. And now, like, I don't know what to make about both of these teams. Like, Kyler Murray will come back. Can the Cardinals be feisty?
Will he?
Do you think?
There's got to be 5 people in that organization, if not 20, that says, "Hey, we've done better on offense every week this guy's been in and not this guy. 8 little A/B testing. I don't know. The market doesn't agree with me. The line moved from 2.5 to 3.5 just because Brissett was in, Murray out. But I think Brissett's been better. I don't know if it's the camaraderie with his teammates or if just athletically he's played better.
He has been better, but you paid Kyler Murray the money. Like, he's going to be your starting quarterback. Now, if you want to
can we trade him for John Morant?
Yeah.
I feel like that. Find a solution for both parties there.
If you want to reassess it in the offseason, maybe you reassess it. But he's going to be back and taking that starting job. Cardinals can be feisty. They have a couple of games where they might be live dogs here against some tough opponents. Going to Seattle next week is one in particular. Home against the 49ers is another one the following week. So I do think there'll be feisty dogs in these games. For the Dallas Cowboys, I don't know what's going to happen with them. Jerry Jones came out yesterday on the Stephen A. Smith show and essentially told Stephen A. that they made a trade. Like, the trade deadline's today, and he's like, yeah, we made a trade, and tomorrow's going to be busy for us. Like, okay, I mean, what's the trade?
Insider info?
Like,
did he say that?
Yeah, like, what's the trade? And also, like, was there players that were playing last night for the Cowboys
that have been traded? Interesting.
That knew that, that they're done, or I don't know. Like, it was very confusing. Very confusing.
Might have been playing under false pretenses.
I'm saying. So Cowboys fall to 3-5, and
their over-under was 8. A lot of late money came in on Dallas. They got about a third of a team that works, and 2/3 that doesn't.
Yeah. Now they take on the Raiders in 2 weeks. So that should be a win for them, but who knows? The Eagles, Chiefs, Lions, like, this schedule gets brutal. Eagles, Chiefs, Lions, Vikings, Chargers, Commanders, and Giants to wrap up the year. Feels like an under win total team.
Yep.
Feels like an under. Speaking of the Raiders, we mentioned the incredible trend with the Raiders coming off of the overtime. And so they will now play on Thursday Night Football against the Denver Broncos. They are 9.5-point dogs up on FanDuel right now. And in case you're just tuning in, you're not aware of that trend. Well, it's teams coming off of playing in overtime, like the Raiders did this past Sunday, and then having to play on a Thursday the following week. They are 5-15 straight up, 4-16 against the spread. They average 15.6 points per game. The opponents, the home teams, average 25.9 points per game. So the average.
What time frame are you looking at?
That's in the history of the entire database. That's all time.
I see more numbers than that. I see 10 and 31. Either way, it's very bad.
Yeah, that's history of the entire database. So that's what I'm looking at. I guess since 1989. You're playing in overtime, and you have to play on a Thursday on the road. So that's a bad spot, especially now you're going to elevation. So it's not just on the road. You're going to Mile High. And it's funny that the average is a 10-point difference, and this is a 9.5-point spread. But I'd be looking at a Broncos team total over. It's a low total of 41.5. I'd be looking at a Broncos team total over, or I'm just laying the 9.5 with Denver, for being honest.
I'm with you.
Elsewhere in the NFL, speaking of the trade deadline, trades coming down here, the Ravens make a deal. They get Draymond Jones from the Tennessee Titans, so they get an edge rusher that should help the Ravens defense. I'm telling you, Ravens are winning that division. Ravens are going to make the playoffs, and everyone's going to be like, well, here are the Baltimore Ravens. They're back, right? The Philadelphia Eagles get Jalen Phillips from the Miami Dolphins, so Jalen Phillips leaving a sinking ship there in Miami, goes to a Super Bowl contender, the reigning Super Bowl champs there in Miami, and Asante Samuel Jr., who is currently a free agent. He underwent a back surgery in April. He has been cleared to play, and so there could be teams that are in need of a cornerback that are going to go out there and sign Asante Samuel Jr. So keep an eye on that. It's going to be exciting to see if there's any big trades that come down here today. Like, Mac, do you think we're going to get, like, any big name trades?
You know, I've heard so much 49ers talk about how they want to make a trade. Edge rusher, cornerback, maybe they're in the Asante Samuel sweepstakes. But at a certain point, and this is where you need a GM to kind of hold the head coach back, because I know Kyle Shanahan would love to trade for 3 starters and pay the money. They're not winning the Super Bowl this year. People need to be distant enough from the team to say, hey, 6 of our 7 top players are out. we are not going to win the Super Bowl. Let's not make a win now trade. But still, I wouldn't be surprised if they do it because they've been talking about it all year.
Like, do you think Trey Hendrickson gets dealt from Cincinnati?
I've been wanting to see Trey Hendrickson in the red and gold for all years. So I hope so.
That's a big name that certainly is everyone.
I mean,
has
how
been
are
talking about here.
you a defensive player that's one of the top 15 or 20 in the league, whatever you want to say, and on the worst defense of all time? It's like a win-win situation just to end that relationship, you would think.
Curious to see what other additions are made around the NFL here today. I know the Buffalo Bills are looking at a wide receiver, so maybe they can get another weapon here for Josh Allen. I think the Dolphins might be the team that sells everybody, so they've already gotten rid of Jalen Phillips. I wouldn't be surprised if Minkah Fitzpatrick is on the move as well. So I think there's some smoke there. I think a team could be acquiring with Miami, so I would think that Miami is a selling team right now here at the trade deadline. We'll have a reaction to that coming up on tomorrow's show, as well as the Week 10 Trench Report that will come out tomorrow. Every single Wednesday up on BetterDay.com, the latest Trench Report comes out, so we'll get you the biggest mismatches on the numbers that we crunch coming up on tomorrow's pod. All right, so that'll wrap up the NFL conversation. Let's get into some basketball, not only NBA, but it was the first day of the college basketball season yesterday. The first day of the college basketball season was an exciting one, Mackenzie. Here in Vegas, we had the number 13 ranked team, Arizona, taking on number 3, Florida. And Arizona was a 3.5-point dog and wins outright, 93-87 over the Florida Gators. This was a play that I talked about with Greg Peterson on VSiN on Sunday. And we talked about taking the points here with Arizona because Arizona was going to have the building, which they did. A lot of fans at T-Mobile last night. Good win here for Arizona, who should be a pretty good team again this year. Big win over the number 3 team in the nation. Elsewhere yesterday, big wins for obviously ranked opponents taking on these unranked opponents. Although the surprising result was Auburn needing overtime. The number 20 ranked Auburn Tigers needing overtime to get past Bethune-Cookman. 95-90 the final there. There was no real upsets of these ranked teams that were playing
this
last
was
night.
Stephen Pearl's first game, huh?
Yeah, because Bruce Pearl retired. Yep.
Retired and had it like a king. Said, "I will have my progeny come and fill my vacant seat for the good of the land." But
there you go.
Good. He got to win.
Yeah, good. He got to win in his debut. Yes, absolutely. Also, yesterday, my St. John's they blew out Quinnipiac 108-74.
Quinnipiac.
So they cover.
You ever heard of QPAC girls at Yale? There was Yale girls, which is like if there's a 6, it's a 10. Then we had QPAC girls, which is a lot more exciting.
Yeah.
Quinnipiac.
I love that. St. John's covers the big number there, and they win at Carnesecca. This is a very, very talented St. John's team. We know that they're going to score defensively. Can they lock it down, this season? But St. John's, they will threaten the number 1 ranking this year. That is my prediction. That is my prediction. At some point this year, St. John's will threaten the number 1 ranking. So there'll be some weeks when it comes out, and there's going to be like, oh, is it Purdue? Is it Houston? Or is it St. John's? Yeah. Like I think St. John's at some point this year will threaten the number 1 ranking in the nation.
It's always more fun when Pitino's in the Final Four or about to be in the Final Four.
Yes.
It's always more fun.
Purdue is the number 1 team in the nation, and they are the odds-on favorite up on FanDuel to win the national championship this year. They have a loaded roster that returns a ton of talent, and they have one of the best rebounders in the country that transferred in. Purdue hosts Evansville in their opener here tonight. They are 32.5-point favorites, Mackenzie, over Evansville.
Take that, Evansville. You being disrespected like that?
Elsewhere tonight, Duke opens up their season. It is the Dick Vitale Invitational, and that game is being played in
He's
Charlotte.
still alive, right? That's kind of like a name you'd give for. Okay, good. We love
We love Dickie V. We love Dickie V. Dick Vitale Invitational in Charlotte. Number 6 Duke taking on Texas. I almost said hosting Texas because, I mean, it basically is a home game for Duke. Duke is an 8.5-point favorite over Texas in this
I got to
game.
see Carlos Boozer's son. I'm hearing that he's the great. Literally, someone said he might be the greatest player of all time. I don't know if that was hyperbole, but hey, my ears are perked.
All right, let's move from college basketball to the NBA, where good cash on the Knicks laying the points there, Mackenzie. We talked about this on yesterday's pod. Weren't afraid of laying a big number here against the Wizards, even though the Knicks were on the second of a back-to-back. They handle their business at home at the Garden in, I don't want to call it a much-needed win, but, like, you got to win the games you're supposed to win in the NBA. And I understand it's a long schedule, but you don't lose to the 1-5 Wizards, now 1-6 Wizards at home.
No, you can't. Now they're 4-0 at home, so give them credit for that. But if they were 3-4, it's funny how different that would feel than 4-3. Mm-hmm. And all the things that they wanted to happen to feel good about the direction of this team, I think are happening. Jalen Brunson won't be thrilled about his performance, but I'm saying 16-9. A lot more point guards have won championships with 16-9, 23-6 than we're doing what he's been doing for the Knicks, playing hero ball, scoring 30 a game. Karl Anthony Towns, however, usually do need a forward that puts the fear of God into the opposition. Second half, he completely took over. Inside, outside, they had nothing to do with him. Best game of the season from him by far.
Yeah, he did look good last night. 33 points and 13 boards in that game. Let's talk about a couple of games on the schedule for tonight. You got the Clippers playing the second of a back-to-back. They are hosting the undefeated 7-0 Oklahoma City Thunder. What does your power rankings make this game, Mackenzie? I would assume OKC is the number one team in your power rankings. How high are you on the Clippers? I know you were high on them coming into the season. Where are you now after 6 games?
Yeah, I had the Clippers as my third best team, but and I said this after the Warriors game, they look slow, old, and sluggish. They have the lowest pace of any team in the NBA. Man, it's funny because my power rankings only make it -3. I think I was a little too bullish on the Clippers. But I have this other thing that we've been talking about, this statistical model that looks at really 3-point luck and how you've done recently. The last 4 games, the Thunder are winning by 20 points per game, and they've gotten unlucky from 3. So the model every single game, and I've bet them the last 2 games and won both of them, says this is the side you got to be on.
And how much do you give the Clippers for being at home?
I give the Clippers 2 points, standard home court advantage. Okay. They're on a back-to-back, so that kind of cancels itself out if you do the standard 2-point penalty. But yeah, I have this as Thunder by 6 is what my model says.
All right. Suns are at the Warriors.
So it's funny now. I have 2 numbers I can give you for whatever argument I want to make. I got my power ratings. I got my model. Yeah. But I do think the Thunder are the side there.
All right. Suns are at the Warriors. Golden State up on FanDuel right now, an 11-point favorite over Phoenix. We just saw Phoenix with a big win as a heavy dog against the San Antonio Spurs. Do they have it in them again to compete as a dog here in San Francisco?
I think so. I mean, it's early on, but if you just threw out the first 3 games of every team in the NBA saying that people are getting their sea legs, the Suns have kind of turned it around. The Suns are 2-1 last 3 games, where the Warriors have really shocking losses against the Bucks without Giannis and against a really beat-up Pacers team. Seems like they've been kind of going through the motions. They know they're going to be there in the end. I think the Suns can creep up on them and have a competitive game here in Golden State.
The Bulls host the 76ers. Chicago up on FanDuel right now is a short home favorite, 1.5. Ooh. Which of these teams gets their second loss of the season?
The Bulls do. The Bulls, there was a conversation on The Ringer about should the Bulls get Ja Morant, and it was scoffed at. Oh my God, because Ja Morant might likely will get traded. This team is 5-1. Look at Buzelis. Look at what they're doing. Giddey's having this great season, shooting 45% from 3. I am not a believer. Giddey's shooting, like they said, 45% from 3. They've started out fine, but they don't have the upside of a Sixers team. I'm a lot more excited about the early portion of the season for the Sixers because of the potential that they've already shown with guys like Maxey and Embiid, and they have bringing in a rookie in Edgecombe. I am very tepid on this best story in sports, Bulls story. They're going to be 500 in 2 weeks. Don't worry about it.
All right. The other one that I see here that I think the line is interesting is the Bucks, an early 5-point dog or 4.5-point dog as we record this here against the Toronto Raptors. Milwaukee playing, it would be the second of a back-to-back after playing last night and beating the Pacers in Indiana 117-115. Is this line telling us that Giannis is out here in Toronto?
Yeah, I think. Let's see, Raptors by 5. I think it's a split line. I think if we knew for sure that Giannis was out, the Bucks would be closer to 6.
Okay.
I think it would be a pick 'em maybe, or close to that if he's playing. So maybe 2/3 he doesn't play on the second night of a back-to-back is how I read it.
Do you think that's the case? Like it's the second night of a back-to-back. He's dealing with a little knee issue, and I know he was iffy to play last night, but he did play last night. So would you?
They stole
him?
A couple wins without him. I feel like they're going to keep riding their luck until they really need him more.
Okay, so he played last night. You would say not play here tonight.
Yeah, that's my read.
Okay, good stuff there, Mackenzie. Let's move on to the NHL. By the way, last night in that game, Giannis did have 33 points with 13 boards. I mean,
it's a monster.
He's just unreal. Let's move on to the NHL where, the Golden Knights are back in action tonight, and I want to resume the Eiffel Tower. Now, let's explain what went down this weekend with the Eiffel Tower, Mackenzie. So, for those who have been following along, and for those who haven't, welcome aboard. It's been a while, but thanks for joining us here on Better Day. Couple of, last week, a week or so ago, after Jack Eichel finally went under his shots on goal prop for the first time this season, I said starting the next game, we will start the Eiffel Tower, meaning we will be betting Jack Eichel to go over his shots on goal prop for, a 10-game ladder challenge. We were going to turn $10 into $10K, right? We're going to have the fun with the ladder challenge. So, Jack Eichel in the first game of the Eiffel Tower goes over 2.5 shots on goal against Tampa with 3 shots on goal. We cashed. We moved on to game number 2. Once again, the line was at 2.5 shots on goal. Jack Eichel had 6 shots on goal.
That's an over.
We cashed game number 2. Now, game number 3 was against Colorado on Friday. And that was Nevada Day, a little afternoon matinee here in Vegas. Happy Nevada Day, everybody. And the sports books are starting to catch on to Jack Eichel. And so his shots on goal prop was listed at 3.5. And the 3.5 was plus money. It was like plus 135. Now, you could have still bet the over 2.5, but you had to lay close to minus 200, like minus 190, minus 195. And I said, well, the Eiffel Tower is going to resume, but we're playing the over 3.5. We're going to go for the plus money because I can't be laying minus 200. Like, let's go for the plus money shot, over 3.5 shots on goal. And as I'm watching the game, third period comes around. Vegas is trailing against Colorado. Jack Eichel has 4 shots on goal. The game ends, Mackenzie. The game ends. The game ends.
Run to the window.
And Jack Eichel's got 4 shots on goal. I check my account, and I have a pending wager still. Okay? Whatever. Sure. I had some followers of ours tweet at me, at Scott's On Air, that their sports book, whether it was, one of the online books, FanDuel, DraftKings, whoever, BetMGM, some of them paid out the over 3.5 because Jack Eichel had 4 shots on goal.
Withdraw the money. Go to Mexico.
Try
to make it out the winter.
I'd say it was probably 20 minutes after the game when I noticed the box score had changed and there was a stat correction, and Jack Eichel was credited with only 3 shots on goal. The book that I placed it on, which offshore, okay, graded it as a loss. And some people say that DraftKings still paid out the win. Others say that their sportsbook took the money back and graded it as a loss. So, I, out of protest, want to resume the Eiffel Tower because that was a win, Mackenzie. NHL.com said he had 4 shots on goal. A half an hour after the game, it changed. Okay? He had 4 shots on goal. But you know what? If we just bet the over 2.5, this would be a moot point. Like, if we just laid the juice and said we're going to go over 2.5, we cashed again. So if we just said the Eiffel Tower is going over 2.5 every single game, we're 3 for 3 on the Eiffel Tower. So I might just lay it here. I might just go, screw it. Jack Eichel, over 2.5 shots on goal in the Vegas game tonight here against the Detroit Red Wings. Are you with me? Knock if you're with me.
Heck yeah. What is it, 10 out of 11? About to be 11 out of 12. Let's go.
It's unbelievable. I mean, he's the heart and soul of this team, but he has been incredible, earning every single dollar, of that massive contract. Oh, by the way, Vegas is a minus 196 favorite in this game here tonight at the Fortress, as they call it. Other games on your NHL schedule for this Tuesday evening. The Mammoth visit the Sabres. Now, the Mammoth are a team that I want to bet when they're at home in Utah. I don't want to bet them on the road. They're 4-3 away from home, but they're 4-1 at home. Like, this is a good home team. So I have no interest in them, even though they're minus 130 favorites up in Buffalo. The Rangers host the Hurricanes. That's part of your nationally televised TNT doubleheader. And the Rangers plus 110 at home, I think, provides a little bit of value there at the Garden. They have not won a game on home ice yet this season, Mackenzie.
Have they scored?
They have scored. They have scored.
Progress.
But they are 0-4-1 on home ice. Now, they return from the road trip, so this is like the Malinsky special, right? The team returning from a 4-game or more road trip here. But they won 3 in a row, 3 of 4 on the road trip, but they have not won a game on home ice yet. I think that changes tonight with a little plus money grab on the New York Rangers here. It's not the popular play, it's not the sexy play, but I'm going to go with it. Elsewhere tonight, Stars take on the Oilers. Dallas minus 135. Cool announcement last night before Monday Night Football that the Dallas Stars will host next year's Stadium Series. They will play a hockey game at Jerry's World.
It's too hot. They got to bring in the expensive AC.
It's indoors.
I guess I'm thinking of SoFi where they have the opening. All right.
Yeah. Well, you know what? They'll have to close that window because you know how like the sun comes in and blinds everybody there.
Yeah.
So they'll have to.
No one can see the puck anyway. It's going to be impossible.
Yeah, they'll have to close the window to make sure it's not blinding anybody there. That'll be fun. That'll be fun to watch. Your second game of the TNT doubleheader tonight is the Avalanche, the 7-1-5 Avalanche, taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Colorado minus 145 on their home ice. So, certainly a strong home ice advantage there for the Avalanche. All right, that'll wrap things up here for us on this edition of Better Day. Make sure to hit us up on social media and keep a lookout because we have some changes coming up on the website. I'm so looking forward to these announcements that we're going to be making, partnerships that we have coming up for you betterday.com subscribers, including the all-new picks page, which you can track by source of the pick, and you can tell the most profitable, pick source that is out there. And some of the pick sources you're going to be impressed with because we are tapping into our network here at Better Day. So can't wait for that coming up very, 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 very soon. For Mackenzie Rivers, I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's hoping you make today and every day a better day.